Hi everybody, Ryan back here with you again today. Out here at the TA at Oakley, Kansas on I-70, I believe exit 76. We're headed down to St. Westlake, Louisiana. I think St. Charles area or somewhere down there. Headed down there for probably down there a day early on Tuesday or so. Been a couple days since I chatted with y'all. I had planned on doing some stuff before the weekend there, Wednesday evening, Thursday. Had a couple video, can't talk, a couple video ideas that I was going to get done. I was up in Portland waiting on a load for about a day and a half, almost 2 days up there. I thought this load paid pretty well. So I decided to sit up there and in a pretty good miles on this load too. So I think it was 2,400 miles almost at $3 a mile gross. So that's why I was kind of hanging out up there. Went down to one of the spots I like down, the north side of town, the Jubit's truck stop down there in Portland. It was only like 10 minutes from where my pickup was, right across the river in Vancouver. Since I had 2 days basically to wait, and Oregon doesn't have any state sales tax, I wanted to get a new set of steers. My steers were about down to 8/32. That's usually about a year, 120,000 miles. That's why I like to get them replaced. You guys know I run, when the higher speed limits and all that out here, 75, 80. So I like to have a good fresh set of steers on every year. So figured I would, like I said, some states with Landstar, we have a tax exempt, other states we don't. So I figured, I know Oregon doesn't have any sales tax. There are, I know I've talked about FET, I think one of my last videos. There's FE, I know I said something when I bought my drive tires. I said with tax and all that, and somebody said something, there is no tax, and yes, there is FET. Federal excise tax on new truck tires. So keep that in mind. Even if your state is exempt on sales tax through Landstar, like I said, they have exemptions on file with some states, but not all states, I believe. But still, there is FET, and that doesn't matter. Anywhere in the U.S., you're going to pay FET, that 11% or whatever on new truck tires. So keep that in mind. But like I said, since I was going to be out there for 2 days, and the sales tax thing, so I figured no, for sure there wouldn't be sales tax additionally. So I figured I'd go ahead and get some new steers thrown on it, kind of kill two birds with one stone, so I wouldn't have to do it when I'm back at home or anything like that. I was originally going to go down to the TA there south of Portland. I like the lot and everything down there, pretty big spot. And I called them, they had the tires I wanted, the Bridgestone R284s, 16 plies, low profile, 22.5s. They had like 4 of them in stock, and then I was like, yeah, I'll go up to Jubit's, and that'd put me really close. When I'm going to pick up my load, I want to come back through town and all that, through Portland. So I went down there, and they got the bar and everything, the lounge, all that stuff. The restaurant's all open back up down there. So that was kind of a bonus. I figured I'd get a hotel room and all that, and hang out there for 2 days and do some videos and just kind of relax a little bit and get new tires. So I went over to I called the shop. They got in, I don't know, they get their tires from somewhere else. They went and got them and started doing that. And I figured I'll get an alignment too while it's in here. Might as well, like I said, get everything done. The type of stuff that I don't do at home. So it took them a little while to get the tires on. I'm out just hanging out and all that out there, and finally get the tires done. Then the guy comes out like 2 hours later and takes it back to start doing the alignment. And like, I'm talking to people on the phone, walking around, and I'm kind of walking by the shop, and they got the glass garage doors where you can see in the shop, and I see he's got it in there, he's got it on jack stands like forever, and I'm like, he hasn't put the little laser sensors on the rims or anything yet. I'm like, what is going on in here? Why is this taking so long? It should be done by now. And so I'm about to call my dad, and actually I called him, and the mechanic that I saw working on it, and this other one of the service writers or whatever guy come out, like, they're all looking for me, and they're all giddy as schoolboys and everything else, and I hung up. I told my dad I gotta go, so I hung up, and they come over and like, oh well, we gotta got a couple things, you know, we can't do the alignment because of the kingpins, and you got this and this other thing, and that's pretty much it. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute here. I didn't ask you guys for a 150 point inspection on my truck. I just asked for new tires and an alignment, nothing else. So if you don't want to do it, then that's fine. And then he's like, well, we can do this, we can do the kingpins for you, and you know, and I'm like, I got a kingpin press and everything at home. I'm not gonna have. I know where this is going, because I know sometimes a kingpin can turn in, you know, it can take you all day. I mean, it could be a 10, 12-hour job just for one. And I'm already seeing, I think they're I'm not 100% sure, but what I've seen on some of the reviews and stuff, I think their shop rate is like $200 an hour. So it's like, okay, that's just what I need is 20 hours of shop labor at $200 an hour plus parts, you know, the kingpin kits. I was like, I'm not going to get out. Then everything else this guy's going on that I didn't even, nothing to do with an alignment or anything. And by the way, I just had a, you know, Landstar, we get annual inspections every 120 days, every 4 months. I just had my annual inspection 3 weeks ago. I'm not even, when I was down there, not even 4,500 miles on my truck since my annual inspection that was just done. And that's everything that this guy is talking about is all stuff that they checked and it was signed off for. So I don't know how everything just went to hell, supposedly, in 3 weeks and 4,500 miles. So I was like, I'm not buying this. So, I mean, like I said, they run out there all giddy and like, where's he at? Where's he at? And they act like they just found the goose that lays the golden eggs or something. And I'm like, I'm not having this. So, and I can just see these people, they're going to try to get me, try to milk me for probably with the tires, and with the tires are already on the truck. So that's already a wash or already on the bill. And I'm going to show you guys this bill here in a minute just for what I did get done and explain a couple things too that's kind of scamish. Yeah, so I mean, they were going to try to milk me for probably $5,000 to $6,000 before I got out of that place, and probably have me in there for 2 days because they're not a 24-hour shop. So that's kind of a trickle down effect and all that. So and that's the moral of the story here. It's really important if you guys are going to get into this, buy your own truck. I wouldn't come into this blindly. You need to be willing to learn about these trucks and what the components are, and what does what and what goes wrong with them and all that, and have an idea, or at least somebody you can call, because these people, they will take you to the cleaners. I mean, there was another guy in there with a turbo supposedly. And I was kind of listening to the conversation he was having with somebody else, his boss, or I don't, maybe a broker or what, but something sounded a little fishy with all that to me, knowing, you know, the things that I know. So, like I said, you got to be really careful getting into this. And so it really flustered me at the time when that was going down, that when I went up there and I said, I shut everything down, I was like, nope, that's it. Take that. We're not doing it. You know, just take it off the jacks, pull it out. We're done. So I got really flustered then. So after they pull it out and I'm up there like getting the bill for what was done, like I was already getting pretty mad. So I didn't even really look over the bill. I just kind of took it, signed the other one they had, and took the one I got and left. And then a little while after that, I went back and kind of looked at everything in more detail. Then I got really mad about things. And it's just, and like I said, I'll go over all that here in a second, what I'm talking about. So, yeah, and I've been dealing with a couple other issues. I know I've talked about it in some of the other videos, as far as we got a couple, we have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old at home, and my wife's, she's from China, if you guys didn't know that. And her parents have been kind of here helping us out for the last couple of years, which kind of make it possible for me to do what I do out here, to go out for 2 weeks and all that. So she has support at home and somebody to help out with the kids. But unfortunately, her father has been kind of battling cancer for the last couple of years, and it is terminal. So he's been getting progressively worse, and so it's kind of trucking like over the road out for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks type of thing for me is coming to an end. sooner than later, to where I'm going to need to be more at home every day or maybe gone for a night or something. But the stuff out on the road, so I've been really kind of scrambling to kind of figure things out, and that's been kind of putting a lot of pressure on me. And you know, kind of looking at other business ideas and all that. So I've got several irons in the fire, and kind of I'm gonna have to slow down on something. And so kind of with all that stuff, then I got thinking, like, these guys, I don't know what these guys were trying to pull with the other stuff. Then I got this bill. Then it was just like a mental, like, the next day I ended up just shutting my phone off. I ignored everybody. I just like wanted to disconnect from the world, not talk about trucking, not think about it. I didn't want to talk, you know, just didn't really want to talk to anybody. So I know some people probably aren't happy about that, but it just sometimes is good. I mean, just to disconnect and really think about things and all that, and kind of hammered some stuff out myself. But like I said, I had some other videos and stuff I wanted to do, but that didn't happen. So anyways, I'm gonna get a little bit off topic there. But again, it's this really, like I said, if you're gonna get into this, it's crucial that you know what you're looking at and what these people are talking about and what they're kind of trying to do. I looked on the Landstar 1 app, and Juba Standard, they're not on there as an annual inspection site. You got to be really careful with these annual inspections when you're going for Landstar, because if you have if I would have went in for an inspection and they gave me this whole list of stuff, that stuff's going to have to be, Landstar is going to put me basically on hold. That stuff's going to have to be whatever they say. I mean, you don't have to have it done at that shop. You might be able to find someplace down the road. I mean, they'll let you go like 50 miles or something, but you're not going to be jumping back on a load and going across country if it's an annual inspection type of thing and there's issues. So, you know, you might have been able to go down the road 5 miles to another shop and get it, but then you're going to have to bring it back to the same site for them to re-inspect it. Like I said, I just checked and they're not an inspection site. Maybe there's a reason, maybe because their shop rate's so high or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. And so I don't know, maybe there's some people that's had work done down there at Jubitz that can, I didn't see a lot of reviews and stuff on the shop down there, like on the Trucker Path and stuff like that, so, or on Google. So I'm not sure what the deal is down there, but I didn't like the way that played out. And like I said, I'm going to show you this bill here in a second. And there's a couple things on there that are complete BS, in my opinion. I'm coming from, as a mechanic, working in shops. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that real quick and point out a couple things. And then we'll wrap this up. Alright, I kind of folded this up here because it has all my personal phone number and all that stuff, which I don't need that getting out any more than what it is for the time being. So you see here I got 2 steers, the 284 Bridgestones. This is the list price. That's not the price that I'll pay once it goes through the Bridgestone account with Landstar. It'll probably be about $200 each less, so about $400. So I'll probably be into under $1,200 on the tires. And there's your FET on those, so like $70, $35 each almost. Here's the first red flag that I asked the guy about this before we started. Medium commercial tire disposal. They're charging me $10 to dispose of it. Okay, I had a Bridgestone and a Michelin that had 830, basically a 1/4 inch of tread still left on them, so well within specs. They were fine. And I had mismatched because if you guys recall back when I was coming through Cheyenne back earlier in the year, I had those Michelins were only like 3 months old, and somehow I must have ran something over because it had a perfect circular cut in the tread that was all the way down to the belt. So I don't know if I ran over like a steel hole sole or what. And like I said, I'm pretty finicky about steer tires, so we got that replaced down there, and they didn't have any Michelin, so I had to put a Bridgestone, so I ended up with a mismatch brands on the front, but we're back to Bridgestones now. So anyways, Michelin and Bridgestone cores or casings are the top of the line. They're the premium, the best of the best. So I should have got at least, they should be paying me for those tires. I should have got $50 a piece, if not $100 a piece, because I know they're not going to dispose of them. They're going to put them in the back and sell them to somebody as a used tire. because they're still decent tires. I probably should have just said no, I'll just take them with me, but I didn't have any place to put them on the truck here. So I should have probably gotten $100 to $200 credit, and yet they charged me for disposal. And I would imagine they're probably going to turn around and sell them to somebody as a used tire, probably for $150 or $200 a piece. So they got me there. And then you got wheel weights, $20, valve stems, $20. Now here's the kicker: shop supplies, $138.96, $140, which shop's charging for shop supplies is pretty standard. When I worked up at Ohio Cat, we charged like 2% of the overall bill, and that covers things like rags and, you know, just little stuff that's laying around the shop, that, you know, rubber gloves that the shop supplies, this little stuff like that that you typically wouldn't track. So it's just kind of a catch-all. But what they're charging me, I mean, like I said, I'm not even going to pay this amount for the tires. And what they got down here, the overall bill is like $21.45. And like I said, I'm not going to end up even paying that much, because these tires are going to be about $400 less. So I'm thinking it's almost as if they charge me, I don't know, 8% or so of the total all. Like, for what? I mean, you use some tire. I mean, you nickeled and dimed me for everything else here. I mean, you charged me for everything else. So what? You charged me for a couple rags and some tire grease to pop those tires on? That's $140. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. So then over here, tire dismount, $70. Then wheel were switched. What in the hell does that mean? Does that mean you put your tires on wrong and then you want to charge me for a mistake or something? Because you can't switch steers. I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. So I have no idea what that is. And then spin balance, $54 for that. So that is what it is. But then they told me an alignment was a 3-axle alignment was $250. And then after I shut it down, when they started up with this nonsense, the guy comes out there, charging for the inspection. And I'm like, okay, so they're going to charge me $120 to put this thing up and basically go through the whole truck, which I didn't ask for. So I see probably almost, you know, $300 of stuff on here that $250, $300 that shouldn't be on here. Then a hazardous material fee. So I mean, you already got me for the tire disposal, so what in the hell is that for? So yeah, so that's what you're looking at. These are some things. Like I said, I was already frustrated, so I just grabbed this and I didn't even look at it, and my truck was already parked and it was already over with. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend going there. So I mean, you guys probably remember the video, I put those drive tires on myself at home. So I mean, kind of going by this, to put those drive tires on, I probably would have been into $800 to $1,000 with the shop BS and all that before, on top of the $3,200 I spent on the tires. So there's major savings with simple stuff, just like tires are easy to change, especially drives. You don't have to balance them or anything. So the only reason I have my steers somebody else do them, because I like to get them balanced. But I think from now on, I should have just went and bought the tires, took them home, put them on myself, then took them back down to Firestone or something and had them spin balance them for the $54, and that's all I would have been out of. Because this shop supply, I mean, this almost makes me go nuclear. I mean, $140 for what? Like, did I just pay for your whole 5-gallon tub and the whole bundle of rags and everything, or a whole 5-gallon tub of tire lubricant or grease to put, you know, for mountain tires and your tire tool? I mean, what is that? I mean, really? I mean, what, you already line item and everything else here. So anyways, I'm gonna shut up with this, and we'll finish this up real quick. So all right, so anyways, just wanted to go over that with you guys and show you a couple things to look for on bills and all that. And they didn't give me a copy like that. I mean, they should give you before they start the work, they should give you a breakdown of what everything's going to cost on there and all that. But this was a lot different than what we started with originally. So some stuff got changed around, but like I said, those are some things you need to look for and think about. And And like I said, really do your research. I mean, if you're going to go in for a certain job, kind of start looking at find videos and stuff, or do research online. Like if you're going to have a turbo, you think something's wrong with the turbo. I mean, kind of go in there and at least kind of talk like you know what you're talking about, because that might intimidate them a little bit. But these people, they're out to get, they want to get you for $5,000 to $10,000 every time you roll into one of these shops. I mean, it's this total scam. And it's not just this place. I mean, it's everywhere you go. I mean, I wish I just would have went to the TA, because I know what the TA is. I wouldn't have had any problems down there. So I don't know what they were trying to do down there, but at Jubit's. But I don't know. I've always liked that place. It's one of my favorite truck stops in the country. I mean, they've got a movie theater. They got a nice lounge. It's almost like a dance, like a club in there. They got a hotel right there on site. A lot of parking, and it's right, you know, near the river, Vancouver River. Or sorry, it's close to Vancouver, but near the Columbia River, you know, right there in the northern part of downtown. So it's convenient, and it's free parking, and Landstar gets pretty good fuel discount down there too, comparable to TA Petros. So I've always liked the place, but I don't know that a lot of the other venues, like I know the bar, the movie theater is still closed, but a lot of that stuff's been closed for like a year. So I don't know, maybe they're losing money on that stuff, so they're trying to make it up over in the shop. I don't know, but I'm not very happy with it, and I'll probably never go there again after this ordeal. So it is what it is. So again, I just wanted to tell you all about that experience, and like I said, I had some other videos I wanted to get out that I was kind of excited about, and like I said, this whole situation just kind of took the wind out of my sails with everything else kind of going on. So unfortunately, but we'll get back on track here. So I'll be out for a few more days before we get back to the house, and kind of switch up the strategy a little bit as far as loads, and we'll talk about that at a later date. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to wrap up on that. Please comment if you got any questions or anything. We'll do what we can to get back to you as quickly as possible. Again, you guys always know I'm doing the Landstar stuff, owner-op stuff, truck maintenance stuff, you know, the farming side too. That's going to be picking up here pretty soon. Weather's breaking and all that, so got a bunch of equipment to work on, farm equipment, tractors and whatnot, so be watching out for that stuff. And like I said, with the farm equipment, the repair videos and stuff like that, I know a lot of the trucking guys probably ain't really interested, but there are probably some little tips and stuff you might be able to pull out of that stuff that kind of relate to the working on trucks and stuff too. A lot of it's the same systems and same techniques and stuff, with little tricks of the trade and using tools and all that. So be watching out for those. But again, thank you everybody. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell for the updates. And what else? Like the video. So with that, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.